right. Well, tonight I'm going to do a short sharing. And Mike, if you could bring up, okay. And let's see here. We're going to start this is 1 Kings chapter 3, and we're going to start with verse 3. And Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instruction given to him by his father David, except that he offered sacrifices and burned incense in the high places. Now, for those of you who don't know, high places were temples set up to idols that sat on top of hills. So basically, in other words, Solomon is here worshiping other gods. It's an interesting thing. When God comes to us and starts to work with us, he has to deal with us from where we're at. Not from where we should be, but from where we are. I mean, 40 years ago, I was far different than I am today. I had a lot of energy and a big heart. And I'll never forget, the first lesson I learned was from my first fellowship leader. Because I wrote this song, and this song had every single possible error in it that you could imagine. And, you know, I often think about this young lady. She looked at me, she gave me a big smile and said, you know, you're going to love the class. Because every single thing in that song was covered in the class. And it really showed me a lot about how you have to deal with people where they are, not some point where you think they should be, but where they are. And that's how God has to deal with us. Look at this, verse 4. The king went to Gibeon to offer sacrifices, for that was what was the most important high place. In other words, he's going to the most important, worshiping him. And Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on the altar at Gibeon, and the Lord appeared unto Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, ask for what you want me to give you. And Solomon answered, you've shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. And you have continued great kindness to him, and have given him a son to sit on his throne this very day. Now, Lord, you've made me servant in place of my father David. But I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. And your servant a discerning heart, and so give to your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong, for who is able to govern this great people of yours? And the next line says, and the Lord was pleased with Solomon that he asked for this. So God said, since you've asked for this, and not for long life or wealth for yourself, nor asked for the death of your enemies, but discernment and administering justice, I will do that. I will give you wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. Moreover, I will give you what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor, so that in your lifetime you have no equal among the kings. And if you walk in obedience to me and keep my decrees and commands as David your father did, I will give you long life. Then Solomon awoke and realized he had a dream. Now, that's the thing. God's got to work with Solomon where he's at. And Solomon came to, when he was asked, what do you want? He could have asked for anything, but he asked for the wisdom to administer his duties, the wisdom to do it right. So God gave that to him and everything else on top of it. And that's one thing. When we decide to work for God, he will provide things for us. He will go way above and beyond anything that he promises to meet our needs in his word. He'll go way beyond that. He will go way beyond that if you're serving him. So just remember that, and don't get discouraged if you're not at a great place right now. Look what Solomon was doing. He was worshiping other gods, and yet God worked with him.